Hello officially and good morning everyone and welcome to today's webinar organized together with 𝐾𝐲 Salon Supplies in collaboration with Norel Dr. 𝐍𝐫𝐞𝐥. And as promised during our last webinar, today I'm here to tell you about the newest products that have just launched from Norel Dr. 𝐍𝐫𝐞𝐥, and we will be talking about 4 brand new ampoules designed for microneedling and fractional radiofrequency treatment, and also 1 amazing soothing post-treatment mask. So today's session will focus on these new products, and I will also share with you a treatment protocol so you can easily incorporate these products into your professional treatments. And after this webinar, don't forget to visit 𝐾𝐲 Salon Supplies YouTube channel and watch our previous webinar from about 5 weeks ago, where I introduced you to the world of Norel facial cocktails and talk about all the professional cocktails available in the Norel Dr. 𝐍𝐫𝐞𝐥 range. So today's webinar is really, we can treat it as an extension and addition to the previous session. And of course, towards the end of today's session, we will have a little surprise for you who join us live today, but that's later. And now, firstly, I would like to say once again a big thank you to you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join me. Spring is just around the corner. I have beautiful sunshine outside now, and I truly believe this launch couldn't be timed more perfectly, because March is the beginning of the spring, and the beginning of the spring is the perfect moment where we want to refresh our skin, restore radiance, achieve that healthy glow and plumpness, and everything around us starts to bloom, and we want our complexions to reflect that freshness as well. And at the same time, as professionals, at the same time, we as professionals, we want to be able to offer our clients the latest innovations combined with the highest quality active ingredients. And I can assure you that these new products from Norel Dr. 𝐍𝐫𝐞𝐥 deliver exactly that. Before we officially start, just a few organization points. As usual, please note that this webinar is being recorded and it will last approximately an hour, but sometimes it can run a little bit longer. And everyone who registered will receive a link to the recording, so you will be able to watch it again at your convenience. And the recording is available for at least 7 days after you receive the email, although 𝐾𝐲 Salon Supplies often keeps it on their YouTube channel for longer, so you can revisit it whenever you like. And please also note that due to the copyright restrictions, we unfortunately cannot share this presentation directly with you. However, you are more than welcome to take your own notes during this session, and of course you will have full access to the recording afterwards. If I can also ask you to mute your microphones and turn off your camera, that will be great, because it helps us to run this webinar smoothly. And we will also really appreciate if you could share this webinar on your social media stories, so your industry friends and your clients can see that you are continuously developing your knowledge and professional skills. And we will also be very happy to repost your stories on our social media, so we can share our accounts as well. And speaking about marketing, if you would like to explore additional marketing materials, I highly recommend to visit the 𝐾𝐲 Salon Supplies website, where you will find a dedicated section called Marketing, with catalogs, brochures, posters, and other materials that can help you support and promote your business. But before we start as well, before we move on, for those who might be joining us for the very first time and you want to know who is talking to you today, let me quickly introduce myself. So my name is Joanna Bojarska, and I have been working as an independent beauty consultant for 𝐾𝐲 Salon Supplies since 2018. And I also run my own home-based beauty studio, Beauty by Joanna Bojarska, and I have been working in the industry for nearly 2 decades. And alongside my beauty studio, I also run a second business called JB Pro Touch, which is a consultancy business where I help other beauty professionals to grow, optimize and scale their businesses. So if you ever feel that you need support with developing your business or taking it to the next level, I will be more than happy to welcome you to help you. And I would like to invite you to visit my website, www.jbprotouch.com. You can also find me on YouTube under Joanna Bojarska, where I share my professional treatments as well as home skincare for my clients. And of course, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not on TikTok yet, but maybe one day I will find some spare time and I might explore this option as well. But enough about me. Let's move on. So, some additional things which Clementi Salon Supplies offer, it's the affiliate program. So, this affiliate program, it's a fantastic opportunity to generate additional income alongside your beauty treatment. So how does it work? So basically, when you sign up, you receive your unique affiliate link and your own discount code. And when someone purchases products through your link or uses your code, you receive a commission from that sale. So essentially, you can earn additional income simply by recommending products that you already use and love in your beauty studios. And enrollment is super easy, but if you ever have any issues signing up, please contact Clementi Salon Supplies and they will be more than happy to help you through that process. And I will be checking your questions and answers at the end of the session, obviously during the Q&A, but I will do my best to obviously answer as many as I can later on. So please also feel free to share your own experiences, thoughts, and one second, because there are some people waiting in the waiting room, joining. Okay, they are there. So please share your thoughts in the chat, because I really value your input, because I truly believe that we can learn a lot from each other. So I hope you have your notebooks ready, a nice cup of tea or coffee. I have my tea here, just in case my throat is starting to let me down, and we can officially start this session. So let me just move the second. Oh, there we go. So let me start with the very basic question. Why should you even consider introducing Norel Dr. Wilsz products into your professional portfolio? So Norel Dr. Wilsz is a professional skincare brand with over 60 years of experience in the professional beauty market. And personally, I value this brand very highly for several reasons. First of all, it has a very strong science-based approach, and I will show you later on what kind of research Norel Dr. Wilsz is doing before releasing anything to the market. It's combined with high quality active ingredients and, most importantly, visible treatment results. But what is also very important for us as professionals is that this brand is designed not only to treat the skin, but also to support beauty professionals in building those customized, effective, and safe treatment protocols. And what I mean by that is that Norel Dr. Wilsz gives us that both guidance and flexibility. So the brand provides professional tools and structured solutions, but at the same time, it gives us that freedom to design truly bespoke treatments in our own professional settings. And when we talk about professional products, we're really talking about those advanced skin solutions, products that allows us to respond precisely to different skin conditions, concerns, and treatment goals. And depending on your client's skin type, condition, and expectations, you can easily personalize your treatment protocols and adapt them to the individual needs of each client. And personally, I love this new line of ampoules because they can be used in very popular and highly requested treatments such as microneedling and fractional radiofrequency. Everyone is asking about those treatments these days. But they can also be incorporated in treatments like sonophoresis or other non-invasive procedures. So even if you do not perform more advanced treatments like microneedling, you can still use those products within your practice. However, I would like to highlight very important thing here. straight away, the ampoules we will be talking about today are not suitable for injections. They are cosmetic products, not medical products. So they are designed strictly for topical professional treatments such as microneedling and fractional radiofrequency. And or what I also say that customization is really the key to that modern professional skincare, and this is what Norel gives you with all those professional products, because today's a client wants to feel that their treatment was designed specifically for them. They also want to see that you are continuously educating yourself, that you are following the latest innovation in the beauty industry, and that you are working with modern products, advanced formulations, and high quality active ingredients. And I'm not talking now about following every trend we see on social media, right? What I mean is following professional research, scientific developments, and evidence-based skincare solutions. And this is exactly what separates us professionals from social media influencers, okay? We work with professional knowledge, professional treatments, and professional grade products. And this is exactly where Norel Dr. 𝐍𝐸𝐻 fits perfectly. So this brand allows you to create very high quality professional treatments while still keeping them accessible and affordable for your clients. So you don't have to necessarily have to charge them $300 or £400 per treatment to deliver excellent results. And you can offer those treatments which are more affordable, but still very, very effective and result driven. And I believe that this balance between quality, results, and accessibility is something that makes this brand particularly attractive for many beauty professionals, me included. I love Norel Dr. 𝐍𝐸𝐻 brand. And now, saying that we will be focusing on the newest products from Norel Dr. 𝐍𝐸𝐻, I would like to introduce you to the new MesoXR line. So this is the newest range of products designed specifically for treatments such as microneedling and fractional radiofrequency. And once again, let me emphasize here, those products are not designed to be injected, as they are cosmetics, not medical products, okay? And between this line, we have 4 different ampoules, each designed to target different skin concerns. And those 4 ampoules are 𝐋50 Hyaluron Filler Ampoule, 𝐋50 Anti-Aging Ampoule, 𝐋50 Pure White Ampoule, and 𝐀𝐻𝐳𝐼𝐻 Ampoule. And later in the presentation, I will explain why this particular ampoule, the golden one, vitamin C one, doesn't have the 𝐋50 designation at the beginning. So, but I will come back to it at the point where I will be talking about those ampoules. And in addition to this ampoule, we also have a peptide sheet mask, which is an excellent product to use after microneedling or any other needling-based treatments or any therapies, really. And I have personally tested this mask and ampoule myself last week, and I have to tell you, this mask feels quite different from the other sheet masks in Norel Dr. 𝐍𝐸𝐻 range. It has an amazing soothing effect. It's almost noticeable, almost like immediately. And you can really feel that calming and hydrating action on the skin straight away. So it works perfectly as a post-treatment product, helping the skin to recover while also enhancing the overall treatment results. And now, I know, there might be some people thinking, but after microneedling, we shouldn't be applying products on the skin or masks, right? And yes, this is something that is often discussed in the professional world when it comes to microneedling, because some of the practitioners prefer to apply very minimal products after microneedling. Sometimes I can see people applying only gentle skincare products after needling, or sometimes even only SPF at the end. And of course, this is absolutely fine. If this is the protocol you follow in your practice, you can absolutely continue to do that and still achieve amazing results. However, it is important to understand when Norel Dr. 𝐍𝐸𝐻 developed this mask, it was specifically designed for the post I'm talking about this mask now, post-needling treatment in mind. The goal in mind. So the goal of this mask is not to interrupt the processes that we have just initiated in the skin during microneedling. As we all know, microneedling creates those microchannels in the skin, which triggers a cascade of biological processes, right? So these processes stimulate regeneration, collagen production, and overall skin renewal. And that's the whole point of microneedling. And of course, we don't want to suddenly interrupt or block these processes immediately after the treatment. So this mask has been designed in a way that it supports the skin rather than interfering with these mechanisms. So essentially, it works as a supportive post-treatment step, giving the skin that immediate comfort and hydration while still allowing the skin to continue its natural regeneration process. So I hope I made it clear that it doesn't interfere with the process of microneedling. And then, of course, we have when we're talking about microneedling treatment, we need to briefly mention the MesoPen device. And in general, Norel Dr. Wilsz offers two professional devices, the MesoPen and then the fractional radiofrequency. But we don't have this radiofrequency on the UK market. But we have what we have available is the MesoPen, which is the automatic microneedling system, and I'm sure you've seen it already. It comes in a box like this, and then we have the pen. One second. Inside, and what we have here is what you can find this device, of course, on the Clementi Salon Supplies website, where they all very often have very attractive offers, and these packages, they include additional products or cocktails as a part of the set, which makes it a very good investment when you, let's say, just starting with the microneedling treatments. And for example, now they have two options, the MesoPen device on its own, or as I said, as a bundle. So it's definitely worth checking those offers after the webinar. Personally, I work with the MesoPen device and I really, really like it because one of the things I appreciate the most, it's very comfortable to hold. So it's not too heavy, but also not too flimsy, like not too light, right? So it sits really nicely in the skin. It does not produce that strong vibration on the skin, so it's really like comfortable for the client and control for me during the procedure. And the device works with different cartridges. We have different cartridges to choose from. They didn't put 24 needles cartridge here, so but they also have 24 needle cartridge, which I very, very often use. And then the device will allow you to adjust several important parameters like needle depth, of course, puncture speed. You have 6 different speeds here, which will show on the little, I don't know if you can see that. I don't want to buzz you in your ears with this microneedle, but it's quite microneedling pen, but it's very quiet as well. It doesn't create much noise. So it gives you a lot of flexibility when adapting the treatment to different skin conditions and treatment areas. And this device also comes with 2 rechargeable batteries, which is all very convenient. And if you prefer, you can always also have the option to work with a cable connection. So if you would like to see the MesoPen in action, you can visit my JB Pro Touch social media channels, where I have already shared a few videos demonstrating treatments where I was using this particular device. And as always, after this webinar, I will also prepare a separate video with a voiceover where I will show you the full treatment procedure step by step. So make sure you stay tuned for that video and follow JB Pro Touch so you do not miss it. And obviously, I am now telling you about all those amazing high quality and effectivity of these products. But now I would like to explain to you a little bit more about the technologies behind these ampoules. So first technology we need to talk about is Cosmetic Drone technology. So if you have attended some of my previous webinars, you might have already be familiar with this concept, because cosmetic drones were first introduced in the Norel anti-aging peptide line. And that was the first time this technology appeared in the brand. And in the MesoXR line, we are also using cosmetic drones, but this time they are combined with different active ingredients, depending on the specific purpose of the ampoule. So what exactly is a cosmetic drone? So in simple terms, it is a very intelligent delivery system that helps to transport active ingredients deep into the skin and directly to the cells that actually need them. And the cosmetic drone is an extremely small carrier with a size of approximately 220 nanometers. And because of this microscopic size, it can move through the skin and deliver active ingredients precisely to target cells, such as fibroblasts or melanocytes. And the structure of cosmetic drone is also very interesting. I know it all might sound a little bit like too scientific, but I love to know what is in my products, how the formulations were made. So I find it really fascinating, and I love to read about it. So I hope you will find it very interesting as well. So cosmetic drone is mainly built from two main components. So first we have that outer part, which we call a ligand, and that ligand works like a navigation system. So it guides the drone and helps it attach exactly to the type of cell where with the active ingredient it's supposed to work. And inside of that ligand, we have the encapsulated peptide, that actual active ingredient. So you can imagine it as being almost asleep inside of the carrier, waiting for the ligand until we will guide you to the correct targeted cell. So once the drone reaches the targeted cell, the carrier attaches to the cell, and through the process called endocytosis, this encapsulated peptide is released directly into the cytoplasm of the cells and of the cell. So what is important here is that the peptide arrives intact, fresh, and fully active, because it has been protected inside the carrier during that whole journey through the skin. I know it all might sound very scientific, and sometimes people wonder even like, is it really happening in the skin, or is it just a gimmick? But the manufacturers of this cosmetic drones actually use a very advanced microscopic imaging technologies that allow us to observe and demonstrate this mechanism in real time. And when you see it under the microscope, it's truly fascinating, because you can clearly see that ligand traveling to the certain cells and then releasing the active ingredients. So I think it's amazing. And if you would like to read more about cosmetic drone, you can simply Google it, and there are some beautiful studies made about cosmetic drones in the beauty world. So it shows us how far modern cosmetic science has developed, and how advanced ingredient delivery system have become. So essentially, this technology works as an intelligent transepidermal delivery system that allows very precise and targeted release of active ingredients in the specific layers of the skin where they are needed. And this is what makes these formulations so efficient and targeted. So it's not only me saying how amazing they are, there is science behind them. So now the first ampoule in our collection is the Hyalu filler ampoule, which is the moisturizing and wrinkle filling ampoule. So all the ampoules comes in the packages like so. Then at the back of the package, you have nice information So you have all the informations about the ampoules, and of course, all four ampoules they will target different skin concerns. And where it comes to of course, you have different ampoules depending on the client's skin, and this one, for example, is hydration. And what this the packaging, what it comes like this, and inside you have 5 ampoules, and on one of the ampoules you will see like a plastic cap which helps you to open the ampoule. So you use 1 ampoule per treatment, or sometimes 2 ampoules if you would like to use them on the, let's say, face, neck, and décolletage area, so like larger areas, and beautiful active ingredients here as well, which we will be talking about in a moment. So this formulation, for example, will what it will do, it will improve that skin hydration, that improve that extracellular matrix. It will give you that better skin density and elasticity to the skin. So as I said, you have box of 5. All of them are liquid formulations. No scent, there is no scent to them. And then, of course, they've been created in the way like 3 milliliters, and in the way that with 1 ampoule you can treat face and neck. And again, we do not inject them. And now let's talk a little bit more about active ingredient in this Hyalo filler ampoule. There is a lot of information here. You can take a screenshot of it if you like. You don't have to know all of it. Just like a basic active ingredients so you know what it actually is in the formulation. So first of all, we have that drone, 1% of 𝐿50 filler, so peptides. So it's delivered via that Cosmetic Drone technology, which we were talking about in a moment ago. And then we have 𝐍𝐫𝐸 45L, and this is an ingredient you will see in all the ampoules, so it's definitely worth remembering. Okay, so the 𝐿50 filler peptide it allows us, because it's in that Cosmetic Drone technology, it allows us to that active ingredients to be transported directly to fibroblast cells in the dermis. And fibroblasts are the cells, I'm sure you know that, but I'm just gonna remind everyone that fibroblasts are the cells responsible for producing collagen, elastin, and hyaluronic acid. And that peptide interacts with the fibroblast growth factor receptors involved in skin regeneration processes. So once the peptide reaches them, that 𝐿50 filler, once it reaches that the fibroblast, it stimulates the activity of hyaluronic acid synthase enzymes. So this increases the natural production of hyaluronic acid inside the skin, which improves hydration of the extracellular matrix, moisture binding capacity, and hydration of the collagen network. So instead of only delivering hyaluronic acid to the skin, this ingredient naturally stimulates the skin to produce more of its own hyaluronic acid. And then that earlier mentioned 𝐍𝐫𝐸 45L, it's the vegan collagen support. So it's like a vegan collagen polypeptide. It's structurally similar to the human collagen type 3. So it helps to stimulate synthesis of collagen 1, 3, and 4. And usually we talk about collagen 1 and 3 when we talk about skin, right? But collagen 4 is also particularly important because it forms a part of the basement membrane in the skin, which connects the epidermis with dermis, and then it supports all the whole overall skin structure. So this ingredient also helps to that 𝐍𝐫𝐸, yeah? It helps us to protect that extracellular matrix, reducing the degradation of collagen and maintaining that structural integrity of the skin. So as the result, the skin becomes firmer, smoother, and more resilient. And then you have 𝐍𝐶𝐫𝐞𝐿IFE GR. So this is another ingredient in this formula, and this is like a low molecular weight polysaccharide that helps to again stimulate fibroblasts. We will be talking about fibroblasts quite a lot here. So again, it will produce, it will if it stimulates the fibroblast, it will promote that collagen, elastin, and hyaluronic acid, and it also produces the MMP1, so matrix metalloproteinase. So that's the enzyme which breaks down collagen on the skin in the skin. So when the activity is reduced, collagen degradation slows down, which helps to maintain skin firmness and density, and we all want that. So that gives us that beautiful like lift to the skin. And then we also have, oh sorry, I didn't move the slide. So that was the 𝐍𝐶𝐫𝐞𝐿IFE. And then we also have holobiosis. So this holobiosis is a fermented extract from white mustard root, which we already know from the anti-age peptide line, if you have been at that webinar. So these ingredients support the skin microbiome and skin barrier, which is extremely important for maintaining healthy skin, especially when performing procedures such as microneedling. So it will help to stimulate collagen production, hyaluronic acid synthesis, that epidermal lipid production, and as a result, the skin barrier becomes stronger, more hydrated, and more resistant to irritation. So overall, X50 Hyal ampoule works on several levels, and it will give you that stimulation of natural hyaluronic acid production. It will support collagen synthesis. It will strengthen that extracellular matrix, and it will improve skin hydration and density. And it will also support the skin barrier and microbiome thanks to the holobiosis. So this makes it an excellent choice for clients with dehydrated skin, loss of density in the skin, early signs of aging, dull or tired looking skin. And this is probably, if I would have to start with one ampoule, I will start with this one. That's why I wanted to start talking the presentation with this ampoule. And of course, as I told you, Norel is the science-backed company. So we everything what we are talking about today is supported by research and testing. So before this, which products were introduced to the market, they were tested both in studies and professional practice. So the products were evaluated not only in the laboratory condition, but also by aesthetic and beauty professionals who tested them in the treatments before the official launch. So based on those studies and professional evaluations, we can see very promising results after the treatment. And for example, all the studies been made that the probants were having either one radiofrequency treatment with microneedling, so that thermofrax, or 3 treatments of microneedling every 10 days. So here, what we can see, for example, on the before and after photos, that you have the results include like 11% of improvement in skin volume, 19% improvement in skin firmness, and 31% increase in skin hydration. So these results show how effectively and those active ingredients work to improve skin density, hydration, and overall skin quality. And here you can again see the clinical images of the improvement of the skin, as well as the photos before and after. Obviously, the photos are not altered. Those are the real results from before and after the treatment. And now I would like to briefly walk you through the treatment protocol. So the overall structure of protocol will remain very similar to each ampoule, and the main difference will be simply like which you will see is the choice of ampoule you use depending on the client's skin concern, and then the skincare and the home skincare recommendation. And since the fractional radiofrequency device is not currently available on the UK's market, I will base the protocol mainly on microneedling treatments. However, the same products can also be adapted to the fractional procedure. Okay, so first we're gonna start with cleansing, and here we start with a double cleanse as usual, and for this step I will use our most popular products, the mild cleansing foam, this one, and that will remove any impurities and prepares the skin for the treatment. And then step number 2, it's optional, and this is a light resurfacing treatment. It's an optional option, but I highly recommend it because it helps to improve penetration of the active ingredients from the ampoule later. So in this step, I will be most likely using the 25% glycolic acid, and this acid can be applied for up to 8 minutes, depending on the client's skin condition and tolerance. And then after, obviously, we will neutralize the acid. We have only one neutralizer to the acid treatments at Norel Dr. 𝐍𝐫𝐞𝐥, and it is this one. And then we rinse off as then everything with the lukewarm or cold water. And I explained in more details in our previous webinar this step, why I'm using this particular acid and why is it so versatile. So after this webinar, I would highly recommend to watch the webinar, The World of Cocktails, because there I will tell you more about combining cocktails with acid-based treatments. And then we move on to the skin disinfection, because obviously we have to properly disinfect the skin to ensure treatment is carried out safely. And for that, I very often use the 𝐀𝐻𝐳𝐵 product. You can also find it on Clementi Salon supplies in the hygiene, I think disposable and hygiene part, like segment of the website. And then we are performing microneedling mesotherapy using the and we are using the MesoXR ampoule of our choice, and in this case we will use the higher filler ampoule. Then the ampoule is applied during the microneedling procedure to allow the active ingredients to penetrate through the microchannels that we created in the skin. An important note for the fractional RF here, radiofrequency: if you are performing microneedling radiofrequency, the protocol is slightly different. I'm sure you know that, because in that case we do not apply acid before the treatment. That would be simply too much. Then you perform the radiofrequency microneedling first, and then apply ampoule after the micropunctures have been created. But of course, if you are working with RF devices, you are already familiar with the procedure. Okay, and then we are applying the post-treatment mask, that peptide sheet mask, and this mask should be left on the skin for approximately 15 minutes, and it will help us to calm the skin, reduce redness, restore hydration, and support that regeneration process, which I was talking about later. And then obviously after removing the mask, we apply the finishing skincare products. Here we are recommending, for example, Hyaluron Plus Active Moisturizing Cream, and then always SPF sun protection. And here you have also a few choices at the Norel Dr. 𝐍𝐫𝐞𝐥, because SPF sun protection is essential when it comes to microneedling treatment. And then obviously as a final step, you recommend appropriate home skincare products, because obviously the exact home skincare routine should be adjusted individually depending on the client's skin condition. And of course, home care plays a very important role, because it helps to maintain and prolong the results of professional treatments. And now, what I've done additionally, I just wanted to give you some practical advice as well. So this is the treatment. We're using Dermapen, ampoule, and the sheet. I wanted to do at average treatment cost, because as well, before we move to that, I will be preparing that separate video of the JB Pro Touch. You know that, stay tuned. I will give you the video about this treatment, how I perform it step by step. But what I would like to show you today, which is equally important, is understanding the real cost of the treatment. Because very often brands will say something like, oh, the product cost is £16, so the rest is your profit. But in reality, we all know that this is simply not true. There are many other costs involved in running a professional beauty business, and we can't ignore them simply. And if we do, we end up underpricing our treatments. So I calculated a realistic example based on one of the treatments I perform in my own beauty studio. And this example includes light resurfacer, microneedling with Dermapen, and MesoXR ampule. And the treatment is performed on the face and neck. So the treatment price in my beauty studio is £180. And what that treatment includes is in addition to the professional treatment, my clients also receive a post-treatment skincare set. So I make sure they use appropriate skincare at home. And this set includes a full size of the cleansing foam, which I would like to use them after to cleanse their skin. Then a travel size cream, depending on their skin needs. I choose the correct one, which is like 15 milliliters, and then travel size SPF 50. So for the client, this set has a retail value of £45, but my cost as a professional is £23. And now let's move to the real treatment cost breakdown. So let's look at the actual costs, right? So here we have product costs. So all the products I was using from the protocol, if this includes all the professional products, is the £16. Then skincare set, which I give my client to use at home, this costs the £23. And then salon operating costs are £25, because we have to remember, we have to buy the equipment, we are using disposable materials, we are insured, we pay our rent, utilities, and any general salon expenses. And then we also need to consider something that is very often forgotten, and that is tax and holiday allowance, yeah, because as business owners, we also need to account for the fact that we need time off during the year, and we also have to pay taxes on our income, and that's obvious. And if we calculate roughly 26 up to 28 days of holiday per year, that adds approximately £43 per treatment, with including tax, right? So this is a massive cost of our treatment. So when we add all together with the things which I have just mentioned, the total treatment cost becomes £107, not 16 just for the products. So if the treatment price is £180, the actual profit per treatment is £73. That is why when I sometimes hear people saying that microneedling treatment at their place costs £60, I honestly don't know where those numbers come from, because when you calculate the real cost of running a professional business, that price simply doesn't add up. Usually that would mean that something is missing from the calculation, either the product quality or the salon operating cost or the professional time and expertise. So of course, we can remove the skincare set. The skincare set is extra, and that would lower the cost slightly, but even then, the real cost of the treatment would still be significantly higher than just the product price. And this is something which we always have to remember when we are creating our treatment price lists and service menu. And this is exactly the type of calculation we work through during my business consultation, because it's very important that your beauty business is not only busy, but also profitable and sustainable. So now that I have covered all the hydrating hyaluronic ampule and all the costs and all the protocols, we can move to another ampule. This is the X50 anti-aging ampule, and this is the ampule which, as the name suggests, anti-aging, and its main goal is the skin regeneration and firming. So it indicates that it will be particularly suitable for clients who are experiencing visible signs of aging, loss of elasticity, and reduced skin density. And as in the previous products, this formulation is built on advanced active ingredients combined with cosmetic drones. And here we have the leading ingredient in this ampule, and this is an encapsulated copper peptide. I'm sure everyone heard about copper peptide and how amazing it is. And the drone system uses that ligand, so that outer part, which guides active ingredients directly towards fibroblast cells in the deeper layers of the skin. And this targeting again works on the growth factors involved in the skin regeneration, and once the peptide reaches the fibroblast, it again stimulates that intercellular production of extracellular matrix proteins. I know loads of extra and things like this, but what we want to stimulate collagen, elastin, proteoglycans, laminin. Laminin is a structural protein that is found mainly in the base membrane, yeah? And its main role is to anchor skin cells to the extracellular matrix. So it helps to maintain that structural stability of the skin. Then we have also fibronectin, and fibronectin is another like glycoprotein in the extracellular matrix, right? So I would call it as a scaffolding protein because it helps that cells to attach to extracellular matrix. So it all makes sense at the end because during that microneedling, fibronectin is particularly important because it helps to regulate the skin process, repair process, and collagen remodeling. To know that chemical processes and what is actually happening in the skin when we are doing our treatment. So I could talk about it for hours, but I do appreciate that some people might not find it that interesting. But let me know if you like to hear about things like this during webinars, or you would like me to skip it, just tell you basics, and then we can move on with our protocol. So let me know. And obviously, as the result of all those components which we were just talking about, the skin becomes firmer, more elastic, and visibly rejuvenated, while fine lines and wrinkles appear reduced and softened. And then we have our 𝐍𝐸 45L 5%, which we discussed earlier. This is a vegan collagen polypeptide, structurally similar to the collagen type 3, and obviously it stimulates the synthesis of collagen 1, 3, and that 4, that bridge collagen, right? And so that will again help us to strengthen that extracellular matrix. And then we have ascorbosilin C. So this is organic silicone derived from vitamin C. I'm sure you've heard about ascorbosilins if you work with vitamin C. And this is a very interesting ingredient, which is derived from vitamin C. Not here. And silicon plays an important role, organic silicon, it plays an important role in the activity and proliferation of fibroblasts, which is why it is sometimes called a young collagen activator. And obviously this, again, ingredient stimulates the biosynthesis of collagen, different types, 1 and 3. It supports connective tissue regeneration. So as a result, the skin appears firmer, lifted, and more regenerated. And obviously then this ampule will be particularly suitable for, as I mentioned at the beginning, mature skin, loss of firmness and elasticity, weakened facial contours, skin showing the signs of photoaging. So amazing when you are looking for the effects of you want to reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkle, smooth the skin texture, improve that skin elasticity, support that contour, facial contour, and tighten and firms of the skin. And again, this is a liquid unscented formula, and it works well with microneedling treatments. It can also be applied on delicate areas such as around the eyes or around the lips, those little tiny lines, which we sometimes call like smoker wrinkles, or crow's feet. Amazing for this problems and concerns in the skin. And of course, we have as well studies to prove the effectiveness of these products, and the protocols the same. We were using either one radiofrequency microneedling treatment or 3 microneedling treatments performed every 10 days. And the studies were done in the participants in the age between 40 and 53 years old. I think it says, oh yes, measured on probates on age 48 up to 53 years old. And what after 3 treatments with this anti-aging ampule, what has been observed are 13% reduction in wrinkle depth, 15% improvement in skin firmness, and increase in the skin elastic density. So these results clearly demonstrate the ability of the formula to stimulate skin regeneration and to improve that structural support with the skin. And on the slides you can see before and after photographs and images that clearly illustrate that visible improvement in the skin. And here you have some photos as well, before and after. You can see that depth of the wrinkles has been removed, and also the color of the skin, the structure of the skin. It's very hard to show on the photos the differences. If you would see the person in person in real life, you will immediately see that change in the skin. And then obviously protocol exactly the same as we had with HYAL filler treatment. You just finishing with a skincare, and in that different skincare, in that case you would be using you will likely use the products from the copper peptide anti-age line together obviously with the appropriate home skincare. So you would finish with one skincare in the professional beauty studio and then give them a recommendation for like this a tailored home skincare for their skin. And now, okay, we have covered 2 of those ampoules. You have the treatment schedule, exactly the same schedule as we were doing during the HYAL filler. And now we have the 3rd ampule. This is the MesoXR line again, and that's a pure white ampule. So this ampule, as the name suggests, has been designed specifically for brightening the skin and treating various types of hyperpigmentation. As we all know, hyperpigmentation is one of the most challenging concerns to treat in the beauty industry, because even when we successfully reduce it, it often has the tendency to appear. And if it's an underlying cause and it's not managed properly by our clients then at home. So there are many types of hyperpigmentation, for example, hormonal hyperpigmentation, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, sun-induced hyperpigmentation, and we discussed this more in detail in the previous webinar. So if you would like to refresh your knowledge, I highly recommend visiting Clamanthy Salon Surprise channel and watch those earlier sessions, because there I am going more in depth into treating hyperpigmentation. But if you would like to see another webinar with hyperpigmentation, let me know. I'm more than happy to deliver that to you. And today we will focus on this pure white ampule. Okay, so again, we have some amazing active ingredients here. Like the previous ampoules, we are using Cosmetic Drone technology. So the encapsulated complex contains several active peptides here. So you have tripeptide 95, dipeptide 75, hexapeptide, which most of us know. And these peptides are designed to target specific receptors in melanocytes called the melanocortin-1, the receptor. You don't have to remember all those names. They are just, what they do, when those receptors are activated, they will stimulate the melanocytes to produce melanin pigment. Yes, so when they are like reduced, those receptors, that means that the skin produces less melanin. So that complex, that drone, which is like encapsulated in the drone, it targets the melanocytes with the overactive melanin production, helping to regulate pigmentation and in a precise and controlled way. And one of the most interesting aspects of this technology is that mainly these drones are affecting mainly overexpressed melanocytes, meaning that the cells that are producing excessive pigment, they are not interfering with normal melanocytes, which are necessary for maintaining healthy UV protection, right? So they are only precisely targeting those cells which are even more so the results is like that. Then, of course, our well-known 𝐍𝐫𝐸 45L, that polypeptide, similar to human collagen type 3, and again it helps to stimulate the synthesis of collagens of different types, and supports that extracellular matrix structure. And then we have tetrapeptide 30, so that's the tetrapeptide. It's the patented peptide designed to regulate pigmentation processes. So this peptide helps to influence the mechanism responsible for melanin formation. So we are working on those melanocytes and melanin from different angles. And here, this one will help you to brighten the skin, even skin tone, and reduce the appearance of dark spots. It also has amazing anti-inflammatory properties, which makes it particularly useful for that post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, right? So that hyperpigmentation which appears after, let's say, acne or skin irritation. So additional, it will reduce that inflammation, so it will reduce that redness in the skin. Then the ingredient which everyone knows, very, very popular, tranexamic acid. This is a very well-known ingredient in dermatology and cosmetology. This is a synthetic derivative of the amino acid lysine, and it's widely used for its amazing effects on melasma, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, acne-related pigmentation, and also rosacea-related redness. So it works through several mechanisms. Again, mechanism. So it shows you that we are treating this hyperpigmentation from different angles, which gives us the best results, right? So the tranexamic acid will reduce that inflammation. It will inhibit melanocytes. It will provide that anti-angiogenic effects, meaning it will help to reduce the formation of excessive blood vessels that contributes to that redness, and obviously in effect, that tranexamic acid will lighten that existing discoloration and prevent the formation of new hyperpigmentation, and also reduce redness in the skin. So it is amazing active ingredient, and it's so popular for a reason. So this pure white ampule, it's particularly suitable for clients with melasma, PIH, so those post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, acne-related pigmentation, sunspot, age spots, and even skin tones. So this ampule will help you to visibly reduce dark spots, brighten and even that skin tone in the skin, prevent the formation of new spots and like this hyperpigmentation spots, reduce that skin redness, and it will also improve overall hydration and smoothness. And again, of course, we have studies, same sequence as we were doing with the previous ampules. And as you can tell here, the probants were in the age of between 25 and 52, because hyperpigmentation is not only the subject where we're talking about mature skin. Young people as well, they develop hyperpigmentation, especially with the over sun exposure, right? So we have here, after this, what the studies showed us, that the darkness is reduced by 15% in the hyperpigmentation. So the hyperpigmentation spots which are already there, they are not getting darker. The reduction in skin darkness, and obviously the hydration is increased. And here you can also see the before and after before and after photos as well. And just a note here that what this results and studies were done, that between the treatments, the probants were using only sensitive line products. So we didn't want to interfere with the actual work of the ampoule. We wanted to check the ampoule, how it works on itself without any extra help from the specific skincare as well. Okay, so this is what we have here as well with the pure white ampoule and the images before and after. So as a professional, we know that the hyperpigmentation is never an easy condition to treat. And personally, in my beauty studio, I never promise miracles to clients, because if we have achieve a 50% reduction in hyperpigmentation, especially without invasive procedures, that is already a very successful treatment outcome. And usually we have to do quite a few treatments to achieve that. And again, we have the protocol similar to the previous one. You're just changing the ampoule and you're changing the skincare to finish, and obviously home skincare recommendation, because here the appropriate home care products are very, very helpful with treating hyperpigmentation, and clients have to follow them as well. So the treatment, and now we are moving to the fourth ampoule, and the Golden CNG ampoule. So this ampoule doesn't have this X50 in its name because it's, as you probably noticed, and the reason for this is very simple. This is the only ampoule in the range that does not use Cosmetic Drone peptide technology. Instead, that formulation is built around a very innovative active ingredients called Golden CNH. And Golden C, obviously, this ampoule will be great for illuminating skin, brightening skin tone, and rejuvenation. And Golden C, that complex, it's composed from ascorbic acid, so vitamin C, glutathione, and pure gold particles. And then vitamin C is presented here in an active form, ascorbic acid, which is fortified and stabilized by glutathione. And glutathione is a very powerful antioxidant, and one of the, do we have it here? Yes. One of its roles is to protect vitamin C from oxidation. So which is one of the main challenges when formulating vitamin C products, because the oxygenation process gets like destabilized vitamin C. So at the same time, also glutathione also helps to regenerate that vitamin C, allowing that ingredient to remain active for longer. And the gold particles here act as a biocompatible carrier. So instead of using the Cosmetic Drone technology, we are using here gold particles, which are helping to transport vitamin C more effectively into the skin. Okay, so this is our delivery system. Then we have the antioxidant power here as well, because even though the acid concentration is extremely low, around 0.5%, studies have shown that its antioxidant effectiveness is about 50% higher than the pure ascorbic acid alone in this combining with this active ingredients. That means that the ingredient can stimulate collagen production and provide antioxidant protection even at the very, very low concentration, while maintaining that excellent stability and skin tolerance, because we don't want to irritate the skin, of course. And as a result, we stimulate the collagen synthesis, we brighten the complexion, we reduce hyperpigmentation slightly, and protect the skin from oxidative stress. And then you also have the 𝐍𝐸𝐸𝐻, which we were talking about. We know that vegan collagen polypeptide, and then we have alga-active retin art marine bioretinol. So this is another important ingredient in this ampule, and this is a marine bioretinol. And some of you may already recognize this ingredient very well from the Norel retinol line. And this is this active ingredient is considered as a new generation natural retinol alternative, and it's derived from a strain of algae called Chlorella vulgaris. And this ingredient is encapsulated in pharmaceutical grade liposomes, which helps to improve that stability of the active ingredient, penetration, bioavailability, so better skin tolerance. So it's act as a structural analog of retinol acid, and we were talking about this active ingredient in depth when we were talking about retinols as well. But just to summarize, it stimulates stimulates the pro-collagen synthesis, smooths the skin, reduces the appearance of wrinkles. So again, amazing product, active ingredients to improve that skin regeneration. And because of this properties, it can also help to address age-related skin changes as well. And then obviously that 𝐍𝐸𝐸𝐻 as well. So all those ingredients together create an amazing results on the skin. And what I wanted just to summarize, obviously it will be great for clients with a dull and tired looking skin, uneven skin tone, early signs of aging, photo-age skin, loads of radiance and vitality, and obviously you will get that brightened and revitalized skin, and that you will get that stimulation of collagen, you will get that skin improved skin elasticity, that reduce pigmentation and dullness to the skin. So as a result, skin becomes brighter, smoother, and more even toned and more youthful. And now moving on, obviously effectiveness, again, same story when it comes to studies. 1 radiofrequency, 3 microneedling treatments every 10 days. And you can see before and after. The darkening of different varieties is reduced by 15%, reduces reduction of skin redness 80%, and then improve flexibility of the skin. And the same again here, before and after results of the instrument tests as well. And then protocol, exactly the same as previous products. We are using the same products, we're just changing the ampule, and then at the end the skincare, and then we will obviously give them different skin rejuvenation, and here give different skin home recommendations. And here you can definitely recommend that rejuvenating cream with 4% of bioretinol Renew Extreme, just to wait about 10 days after the treatment, so the skin recovers after microneedling, and then they can slowly start introducing this bioretinol into their skincare. Oh, sorry, not this time, not this way. So this is the treatment protocol. And then the last but not least product for today, I hope you are still with me, this is that peptide sheet mask. So you have 5 masks. They all come in separate sachets like this, and it is also packed with some amazing regenerative and soothing active ingredients. I would highly recommend getting this mask and trying it on yourself, because you will see the difference immediately. So again, active ingredients: wine pepsparin 2.5%. So this is an active structural peptide, and it's derived from 𝐶𝐵𝐵𝐸𝐴 lipoprotein, and it reduces that neural sensitivity to the skin, and increases the skin tolerance threshold. It will reduce that erythema in the skin. In only 15 minutes, you will see that skin becomes very calm and soothed. And obviously, it will, but even after you remove it from the skin, you do not rinse off the serum. You leave that concentrate on the skin. You can massage it in. After 60 minutes, it will be the most effective. And obviously, it will also relieve that itching, pain, and burning sensation. So it will be great also for very sensitive skin. And then we have as well another beautiful active ingredients, and this is the ferment derived from the reishi mushrooms. Chinese medicine now is being rediscovered again, although we were using it for ages. And mushrooms are super viral these days, and reishi mushroom is one of them. Mushroom of immortality, adaptogen, as we all know, and I'm sure most of us is taking some or supplementing mushrooms in some way, or even using them in the skincare, because now it is a very, very beautiful active ingredients to use for skin regeneration and healing of that micro damage on the skin. And obviously, this mask, I was talking about it more as well at the beginning, that it doesn't interfere with the processes we initiated during the microneedling process, right? It, as we already mentioned, soothes, supports regeneration, moisturizes, refreshes skin tone, and leaves the skin soothed, brightened, smooth, and soft to touch. Really soft to touch, I should say here. And then again, we didn't leave it as that. We've done the studies, same exact way as we were doing with the ampoules. And here you can see before and after reduction of redness, and the overall reduction in redness was 16%. And then you can see one of our tutors before and after studies that was done in Warsaw in Poland, and this is before and immediately after the application of the mask. So especially when you do things like this fractional radiofrequency of microneedling, this you don't want to just leave that client with that super red and irritated skin. You would like to give them some comfort. If you would like to give them some comfort, this is an amazing mask to have. And now quickly, contraindications, although I know everyone knows. For microneedling, we all know the main ones: the pregnancy, active herpes, psoriasis, tendency to scarring after active tumor, tanning, Botox. We have to take those contraindications into our consultation forms, because we have to check it all, definitely. And then 24 hours before the treatment, we have to tell them to not consume alcohol, and if they are prone to herpes, to use, for example, heavy run 2 days before and 3 days after. And then we need to know if they take any birth control pills, if they have any thyroid problems, those are not contraindications like thyroid hormones or birth control pills, for example. But we have to know things like this, but I'm sure you go through all of that during in-depth consultation with your client before the treatment, because consultation is the key. And now we have a little surprise as we came to the end. I talked to you about all the products I was talking a long time. I know, I do apologize. I hope you are still with me. And that surprise is a discount code. So when you go on the Clementi Salon Supplies website and at the checkout, you put the code MesoXR10, you will get 10% of the whole MesoXR line. And this code will be active for 48 hours. So be my guest, shop the products, try them yourself, and then obviously you can try them like on your clients. Let us know what you think about them, because this is a totally new product on the market, and we would love to hear your feedback. I personally use myself that Hyalo filler ampule last week with the mask. Amazing effects, really nice, hydrated, plumped, glowy skin. So really like the effect. So enjoy the code. I hope that will help you as well to choose to try this product. And then now we're gonna move to the questions and answer section. So I will check the box. Sorry, I will check the chat box and let's see what we have here. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Where are you, Gloucester? Okay. Hello all. Good morning from London. Good morning. Anna, your knowledge is vast, and I suspect that preparing such a webinar takes a long time. I'm even more grateful for presenting this information free of charge. Huge congratulations to the presenter. This will be another of my favorites. So thank you so much, Anna. Numbers are important. Thank you for showing that. Thank you so much. Yes, preparations for webinars like this takes time, but I love to dig in, read some research, and then give you the most accurate and the most practical information, because I think that's what we are here for. That's the meat of our profession. And then pure face works. I like the science and the details. Don't skip that for me. Oh, thank you so much. I love them as well. I like to know what sits in my products and what's behind them. May we have the PDF of the webinar, please? I would be much easier to go through the information again by printing it and have it on hands, then listening to do again and again. Dana is asking, due to the copyright restrictions, we are not able to share this PDF, that presentations with you. I mentioned that at the beginning, but you are more than welcome to do the screenshots yourself and then print them out if you like, for example, but you also have the video to listen to and take the most important informations out. So that I hope that helps as well. And then Raluca is saying, I love here more and more. Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much. Pure Face works. Yes, PDF would be great. Unfortunately, like we are advised not to share that like over the email, but I can ask Norel, Dr. Wilsz. Maybe they can prepare a separate PDF which we can send to you. I will ask this question, okay? If that would be helpful. What needle Okay, what needle depth are you going up to when doing the 3 microneedle treatments every 10 days? Pure Face Works asks. So, depending obviously on the skin, depending if that's their first microneedling experience or they are a pro when it comes to microneedling treatments, and depending what you are treating. So if you are treating very deep lines, let's say, and wrinkles, you can go a little bit deeper. If you are treating very sensitive skin, you can't go deep. So, but the usual one for me is 0.25 or 0.3 and speed 4 or 5 around the eyes and around the mouth area, then 0.4, 0.3 on the forehead, because that's the most, like that's the least pleasant area for my clients. And then I would go 0.7, 0.8 on the cheeks and then on the neck as well. So that will be the depths I would use, even if I do the treatment every 10 days, because they get the series of the treatment. Okay. And then Anna, okay, and I think we have that's all the questions. I don't know if you have any other questions as well. I hope that helps. All the informations I gave you, I've tried to give you the most important information. I know it's been a lot and it was a bit of a science here today, but I really want always to for you to understand what's behind the product, because it's not only us saying, oh, it's amazing, it's the highest quality. We want to show you that those products are still backed by science, and everything has been tested. Oxygen Beauty Studio is asking, I just want to ask if Joanna B10 code still works on Clementi. Yes, it still works on Clementi Salon Supplies, but obviously that code is for the retail users. Professional users, they are registering with them. If you have registered account with Clementi Salon Supplies, you have the wholesale prices. So then you're not gonna get an extra 10% on top of that, if that makes sense. But now you have this code MesoXR and 10, and you can enjoy 10% of the products, 10% off of all the products. Shan is asking, just to confirm, they are suitable all skin Fitzpatrick's. So the studies were made because all the studies are being performed in Poland, and in Poland we are testing them on the Fitzpatrick's 1, 2, and 3. But I don't see any contraindications to use them on the deeper toned skins. Obviously, always patch test, always prep the skin beforehand, because the darker Fitzpatrick's skins, they will need longer preparation for treatments like this, especially when you're using resurfacing treatments. But I'm sure you know that they have to use the melon tyrosinize and the hyperpigmentation products and things like this before doing any more intense and in-depth treatments. Oxygen Beauty Studio is saying thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this morning and for your time. And of course, I am waiting for all the before and after on your social medias. Please do count us in, do tag us in, JB Pro Touch Beauty by Joanna Bojarska, because I really love to see your work and how you implement those products into your daily routines. I wish you all a beautiful spring season, and we will be coming soon with another webinar. Thank you so much and have a nice day. Bye bye. Bye.